First, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to give the closing remarks. It's often very difficult to say something at the end of a conference. It's not possible to summarize what happened, but I try to say a few words. I think it's not projecting well, but whatever. As you know, to just take you back to 2002, when the first conference was held, it was in Qatar, it was in Doha. And that was the time when Gulf Heart Association was formed. And then we started to have conferences every year in one of the countries. Our conferences started to improve, and in every conference we used to find something or another which gives a particular flavor to that conference. Now we are back in Qatar this year with the first conference of the second cycle. And I think there were major changes in this conference. And one of the things is that although in some of the sessions the attendance was poor, but overall attendance was good, especially in the workshops and some of the sessions. And the second thing is that this is, I think, the first time we're getting a large number of speakers who are really world authorities in their fields. We had a diversity of topics. We had the first time also joint sessions with ACC, with ESC, and with the EuroPCR group. The best of ACC 2010 session was excellent. It took us back to Atlanta and to get the best which presented there. There were a number of workshops on echo, ECG, life support. There were nursing sessions and many satellite symposia. Now, what about GHA contribution? When we started our first conferences, we hardly had few small abstracts only presented in the abstract sessions of the conference. In Yemen in 2008, we had the first time a full session on Gulf Heart Association work. It was on Gulf Race, which was the first really very successful project registry by Gulf Heart Association. We had a full session presenting the different topics there. And then this year we had, again, a few topics. We had one presentation from Gulf Race 1 in the ACS session, 3 from Gulf Race 2, one presentation on preliminary results of the atrial fibrillation survey, the Gulf SAFE, and there were a number of abstracts from local work. In fact, most of the abstracts were from the local work. Now, that's what we heard, we studied, we discussed, but of course, that's never complete if we don't translate this into practice and to impact the care of our patients. I think we should continue having research in collaboration with international bodies, because that's the way we really know what's happening in our region and find ways to improve practice. Now, enough of what happened. Now let's see what's coming up. This is what Dr. Hajar has written in Heart Views in December, the issue of December 2003 to February 2004. This was just immediately after the second Gulf Heart Association conference, which was held in Oman. He gave a nice history about Oman, talking about its geographical position. He said that in the 8th century, an Arab, bin al-Qasim, made the first successful voyage from Oman to Canton, China, and became the major route there. And he talked about Suhar, which being one of the greatest port in the Islamic world at that time, and is still one of the important ports. It's a couple of hours from Muscat driving. And also he mentioned about the history of the Portuguese navigator Vasco da Gama and his route from Oman. And then that became a main route used by the different sailors in that area. But the important thing is that he says that da Gama did not discover the route on his own. A famous Omani sailor, Ahmed bin Majid, navigated da Gama's journey from East Africa to India. And now, of course, Oman, like the other Gulf country, became really modernized, started in modernization in 1970, and is one of the fast-growing countries like most of the Gulf countries. So the conference next year will be held in Oman in March 2nd to the 5th of March 2011. We chose March because the weather is better than April, and the conference will be held. This is, I'm sorry, the projection is not good, but this is some of the pictures of the previous conference in Oman in 2004. I just didn't bring this because it's me, but because it's Dr. Hajar and Dr. Ali Musa, the previous Minister of Health in Oman. And this was the GHA booth at that time in Muscat. The conference next year will be held in Al Bustan Palace Hotel. This is the hotel where it's going to be held. It's a closer view. And these are all pictures for that hotel, just to encourage you to come. It's really a nice hotel to stay in. This is from inside. And just to remind you that Oman is not just a place to come for a conference, to be honest. It's not because I'm from Oman, but it's really a nice place to visit. It's full of history, nice beaches, mountains, sand safaris. Professor Mohammed Zubayd was asking me to put a special time to take people in Oman for fishing during the conference, because he's very fond of that, and he comes very often to Oman for fishing. He goes to places and some remote islands which I myself have never seen. So on behalf of the Gulf Heart Association board members, and on behalf of the chairman and the organizing committee of the 9th Gulf Heart Association Conference, and I invite you all to be with us in Muscat from the 2nd to the 5th of March 2011. Now, before I end, I really congratulate our Qatari colleagues for this excellent conference and for the excellent hospitality that we received during our stay in Doha. And I wish all the other participants a safe journey back home, and see you in Oman next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kadhim, for this nice remark about the conference, and to tell the guests that Oman has a rich history. That's true, but in reality, one of our member states, which is Yemen, have the richest history in our region, and we will have some meetings in Yemen where you will enjoy a lot of rich history. So keep in touch with Gulf Heart, follow our meetings, and join us in all the Gulf states in the future. And we are very pleased to have all of you here, and we will see you in Doha or in the next cities. Thank you very much.